My name is Jim McClenahan. I'm the Director of Corporate Outreach for the College of Business at the University of Nevada, Reno. And I'm here to talk to you today about how to build your network, how important that is, and some ways that you can do that enhancing your digital presence. Finding a job today hasn't really changed that much from how it was 40 years ago. It really is still about the network that you have. Now, what has changed is how you're going to build that network. 40 years ago, you go to the want ads. You might meet with some people that friends knew. Today, that process is different. It's going to start on LinkedIn. But before we even get that far, you need to figure out what is the content about you that states who you are and what you want to be. One thing that hasn't changed is that you still need a resume today that's on paper, but we're also going to work on putting that resume digitally in LinkedIn. When you consider your resume, I want you to think about achievements, results, and impacts. Don't just give us a description of the jobs that you've had and the job duties that you have. People can actually look that up. Talk about the impact that you made when you did that job. Explain why it mattered. And if there's data that you have, use that data. I'll give you an example. Many people have been a server in a restaurant, and you'll see a resume from a server that says that they took orders, they processed payments of checks, and they delivered service. They might even say they gave great customer service. But how do you measure great customer service? How can you explain that? So instead, reframe those job duties into some accomplishments. You could say something like that you received Summit customer accommodation letters. You could talk about that you were part of a team that got a 4-star rating on Yelp. You could discuss the tip revenue that you had was the highest among all servers. And you can talk about that you handled orders correctly 99% of the time. That speaks to your attention to detail. And in fact, you can weave that in, proving your attention to detail. You can even say things like that you handle confidential information appropriately because you're handling customer credit cards. So expand what you did on your job, frame it in achievements, results, and impacts, and look for transferable skills that will help you describe your position and why it relates to the position that you're interested in. So we take your resume, we take all the things that you've done, make sure you have someone else look at it and give you a critique, and then we place that on LinkedIn. Now, many people will say, well, why should I get on LinkedIn? What about Facebook? What about Instagram? And I would offer that other social media sites are fine, but there's 450 million people on LinkedIn right now that are using it as their professional networking platform. 46 million of those people are students that are on LinkedIn. And what's nice to have that many students on LinkedIn, there's also employers that are combing through LinkedIn to try to find students and graduates that will work well in their culture. This is happening more and more. The reason I want to be on LinkedIn is that I'm lazy. I don't want to have to look for a job. I want jobs to find me. Every day I hear stories of students who put their profile on LinkedIn and get a call from an employer that they've never heard of for a job that they never would have applied for. Putting yourself on LinkedIn is a little bit different than putting yourself on Facebook. If you're on Facebook now, make sure your security settings are ratcheted up to the maximum level. You don't want anyone that's not your friend to see pictures of you or to see comments about you. This prevents anything that might be embarrassing or an employer might consider objectionable from getting into their hands, because employers will get on social media and try to find information about you. LinkedIn is just the opposite. You want to open up yourself on LinkedIn so that you are able to make contacts and meet people. So there's going to be some things that you need to have on LinkedIn. The first thing is you need a professional headshot. Find someone that will take a picture of you wearing something nice, a tie, a nice outfit, something professional, something you would wear to a job interview, and take that picture and put it on LinkedIn. You might consider a creative headline or a custom URL on your LinkedIn profile. So if you are interested in marketing, you might say that you are a marketing ninja. Whatever you say, make sure that you can back that up in the meat of your LinkedIn profile. For a custom URL, you'll notice that the LinkedIn profiles are really, really long. You can actually customize that to be your first and last name or something much shorter that can fit on a business card. And I highly recommend you putting your LinkedIn profile on the business card. Finally, you might consider an elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is about a 30-second speech that you would give about yourself to somebody, something to get them interested, something that explains who you are and what you stand for and what you're looking for. You want to take that summary about yourself and you want to put that on LinkedIn so that someone coming to your profile immediately has a good sense for what you're looking for. And don't hesitate to put your work experience and your course experience on your LinkedIn profile. Many employers will look for new graduates that have taken specific courses. So things like coding classes or analytics classes or finance classes or accounting become very, very important to have on your profile. Once you have a profile established, now it's time to build your network. And you want to start with professors, you want to start with friends and alums, mentors. Anyone that can refer you and recommend you is a good person to build your network. You're welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn, but I can't hire you. The reason you might want to connect with me is that I have 3,000 people that are in my LinkedIn circle that I might be able to refer you to for a position. It may be something that would be helpful, and you can look by geography, you can look by company. There's all sorts of ways that you can search. So consider those types of connections, people that can recommend you or introduce you to someone in a field that you want to get into. There are some great tools on LinkedIn, and one of the reasons you want to be on there is to take advantage of things like LinkedIn Alumni. LinkedIn Alumni, it's linkedin.com/alumni, will allow you to find UNR alums that are working in other places. So you can go to that tool and it will know, because you have University of Nevada, Reno in your profile, to search for UNR alums. And if you're interested in working for a company like Tesla, you type in Tesla and it will show you 68 people that work for Tesla that went to UNR. The reason why that's important is it allows you to play a very important card that you have, and that's the student card. You can reach out to that person and say, hey, I saw that you are a UNR alum. I'm going to UNR now and I'll graduate in a few years. I was wondering if you had a few minutes to answer some questions about what it's like to work for Tesla or careers at Tesla. Please don't ask them for a job, because people at companies like Tesla get asked that all the time. But if you ask them for advice about your career, many professionals will not hesitate to do that, no matter how busy they are, because everyone wants to help students. Something else you may want to do on LinkedIn is follow companies. If there's companies that you're passionate about, many people want to get into sports marketing, start following the sports teams and know the media that they put out. When you do get an interview with that sports team, it's going to be very important that you understand the media that relates to that company. And that doesn't go for sports teams, it goes for everybody. You should be very well informed on everything that's going on in that company. So following companies will let you see that news, but it also will expose you to jobs that that company may post. And that can give you an advantage over somebody else because you'll see those jobs first. I hope that information helps. If there's anything that we can do to help you with your resume, please stop by the Career and Corporate Outreach Center in AB 407 or email us at businesscareers@unr.edu. Thank you.